Okay, so today we are going to study about the formatted strings, and it is, as I told you, it is going to be very, very important for you whenever you are going to write some statements. So let's say I have a variable, and this variable is storing a string known as my name, that is Praveer. Okay, and there is one more variable which is again storing my surname, that is Saxena, right? And what I intended is to combine these two. Means I need my complete name, that is Praveer Saxena. Okay, I need to combine, means what should happen? The Saxena should come after Praveer. That's it. So understand how we can do that. To do that means to combine the two strings, there is an operation which is known as concatenation. Concatenation. There is an operation which is used to combine two strings. Combine two string or multiple strings. Simple combining strings. Okay. So what it will do, if I do A plus B, okay, I'm doing A plus B. So what it will do, it will first of all take the value of A, that is Praveer, then it will take the value of B, that is Saxena, and it will join them. Okay. So immediately after R, means the R in the Praveer, you will see S, that is Saxena. So let me type it, and you can see that immediately I get a string known as Praveer Saxena. Okay, but this is a not what I desired. I desired how we write the name. We write the my name, then give some space, and then use my surname. So whatever I did is fine as per the what Python does. So suppose I have to write somewhere this way. I want to write this way. Okay, Praveer space Saxena. Okay, I have to do this way. So I have to understand that this is a Python. It will do what the rule says. It will do what the rule says. Okay, so if I'm directly typing A plus B, directly it is going to join. But what we need in between? We need in between space. And remember, space in a Python is a special character. Space in a Python is a special character. So if you need a special character, please put it there. So actually what my process becomes now, my process becomes first after Praveer, insert space character. After Praveer, insert space character, then insert Saxena. Right? So how can I write? I can write A plus. Now I need to insert a space, that is a special character. So I will use quotes and give space in between. Okay, I'm using quotes and giving space in between. The moment I do this, it has been understood that, okay, it's a string. Remember, how do we treat strings? Strings are denoted by a single quotes or by double quotes, or some, if you are using multiple lines, you can use triple quotes as well. Okay, so now space is becoming like a string. Otherwise, what will happen if I'm going to add anything with the A, which is not a string? For example, I do A plus 3. It is going to throw me an error because concatenation operation only works on the same data type, that is string. It should be, if it is a string, then it should be string, but it is a number. So how I can solve that? I can do that by making it a string. How I can make a string? Put quotes here. Now I can do the operation. Fine. So it can do that operation. So I have to make space to be a string. So I put string character space single quote complete. Now concatenation operation again, because after A, space will be added. Now after space, what we need to add? We need to add B, that is Saxena. So I put B here. Now you can check. You get Praveer Saxena. Is it clear, everyone? Please tell me.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Yes, sir.
That's it.
Yes,
Okay.
sir.
So this is the one way of doing concatenation, right? We can do that. And there is another way which is known as formatted string. How we can do that? Understand. Suppose I'm writing a variable full name, okay, which is my name and Saxena. That's it. So you have to, for a formatted string, you have to use a character known as F. Okay, you have to use a character known as S. After that, whatever way you want to write your string, you write the string with a single quote or double quote, it's your choice. Suppose I'm using double quotes. The moment I write a double quote, it understands that now a string is going to be written. Okay, so now what character you want? I want A. So I will put here curly braces like this. I will put curly braces here. And within the curly braces, I will put what I want first. I want A to be first, Praveer to be first. So I'll put A here. Okay. After A is written, what you want some space. So now as you are writing everything inside the string character, remember double quotes is there and string has not been closed yet. So directly if you can give space, you don't have to use quote again. Directly you can give space. Now you can again because you have declared B as a variable, again put here. Okay. Curly braces and now put B here. And once you think I have included everything inside this, close your string. Is it okay? How do I write? F tells you that it is going to be formatted string. Again, after that, write your string, whatever your string is. And if you are referring any variable, just use these curly braces here. And directly you can give space in between. Okay. So if I run this command, some mistake is there. Where is the mistake? Let me check. Okay, fine. See the mistake.
Full
Can you?
underscore n.
Yes. I forgot that one. That's good. Let me put underscore here. Okay. Full name. So I'm running it. Let me print full name. Let's see what I get. Full underscore name. So let's check it. Is it fine? Everyone, please tell me.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now suppose I want to write a complete statement now. I want to write a complete statement like this. Understand? Hey, he is Praveer Saxena. Okay. And he is a machine learning instructor, for example. I want to like this. I want to write like this. One way is to that, directly put that into single quote or double quote. It will do that. Okay. But suppose I don't want to write Praveer and Saxena specifically. I want to take these values from a variable which is available. Okay, from a variable which is available, right? So what should happen? If I'm writing this way, it is becoming a hard-coded thing. If I'm writing this way, it is going to become a hard-coded thing. Means if I'm turning on a system, it will always show Praveer Saxena. You are turning on, it will show Praveer Saxena. But what I want, whomsoever is opening the system, his name should be displayed there. Okay, so for that purpose, we can take variables. I'll come to that input function. You will understand that way. So what I can do here, instead of using Praveer here, what I can do, anybody tell me what I can do? Just we studied earlier. What we can do? We can put
Curly braces.
curly
A.
braces, right? And inside the curly braces, we can put A, right? Space was already given in the statement. Instead of Saxena, I can again use curly braces and put B inside. Okay, let me make this statement to be what I have to put here. Remember, F to make it as a formatted string. Okay, so let's say I give it a name, a sentence, variable name as a sentence. So sentence is equal to a formatted string. Okay, let me run this. Run. Let's print the sentence. Is it fine, everyone?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
These are very important things because you are going to use all this thing in your programming. Remember that thing. Okay, so understand each and every concept very properly. Very easy thing to do. Okay, this is one way to write your formatted string. Now second way to write our formatted string is, understand now. Okay, I'm copying same thing again. I'm copying same thing again and now name giving new sentence. Okay, copy paste. Now instead of writing A and B here, remove A and B, just leave them empty. Just leave them empty. Okay, hey, he's empty wherever you want to put some value. Machine learning instructor. The moment string closes, put dot. Put a dot and mention format and mention format. And in this format, put the values, what you want to put in first bracket first, and then what you want to put in the second bracket. That. So what I want to put in first bracket, in the first bracket, I want to put A. In second bracket, what I want to put, I want to put B. Is it okay, everyone? Second way it is, okay? Instead of putting A and B here, whatever I want to put, just put after the dot format function. Okay, in the same sequence, in the first A, second B. Okay, so what I'm going to do here, I am simply running this. It's run successfully. Let me print new sentence and check the output. See, exactly same thing that we got by this method, also we got by this method. So any method, whatever you prefer, it's entirely up to you which method you like to use. Is it fine, everyone?
Yes, sir.
Okay,
Yes,
so
sir.
it's entirely up to you whichever method of formatted string you want to use. That's very important. Okay, because in this case it is a string. In real cases it may be a number, right? So that is also possible. You can write means taking a string, for example. Let me take an example here. I want to print something. I want to print something. So suppose I want to print it as a string, a simple statement. So I can write, hi, how are you? Okay. And at the above, there is a variable known as age. Okay. And age is 36. Okay. Hey, how are you? Then your age is. Okay. Your age is, until this is inside these codes, everything will be treated as a string only. So if I'm going to run this, although I've defined a variable age here, doesn't matter. It barely matters because you have put it inside the quotes. It will be considered as a string. So automatically, whatever we have written, it will be displayed here. Example this. Hey, how are you? Your age is. See, exactly. It didn't recognize that it is a variable because you have put it inside this. Okay. If I want to put like this, if your age is, I give some space. Yeah, I put a colon, then I give a space, and then I put age. By considering maybe it may consider it as a age variable. No, it won't do. It will print as it is. Right? So what is the way that we can use this thing? What is the way we can get 36 out here? Okay. So there are different ways. One way, what I'm going to do, I'm going to terminate my string here. The string is terminated. I put a comma here. Okay. And after the comma, once string is terminated, I put my variable name, that is age here. I put my variable name, that is age. Let me give some space so that it looks beautiful. Now run this code. Is it fine, everyone? I get it. But suppose there is a large amount of string where you want to use again variables, where you want to use variables. So it will become very difficult. You will write one string, terminate it, put as a variable, then again start writing a string, put terminate and variable. So better method is what? Either use this one, whatever we are seeing here, or use this one. Just put quotes where you want variable values. Just put quotes where you want variable values, and later on, what you do, just put whenever string is closed, put dot format, and remember the sequence. Here what comes, here I need A. So put A here. Second one I need B, put B here. So life becomes very easy. For example, in the same statement, what I could have done like this, your age is, okay, colon, I put curly braces. Fine. I closed it, right? Close this curly bracket and mention dot format. dot format. And what I want to put in this curly braces, remember, what do you want to put right now? Age is a variable.
Age.
That is age. That's it. My work will be done for sure. Is it fine?
Yes,
So,
sir.
so
Okay.
life becomes very easy. Otherwise, it's very difficult to get it. I hope it is clear to everyone. The formatted string, which is really a difficult task to understand, but if you are understanding it, it's very, very, very good. Honestly speaking, most of the people found it difficult, but if you are finding it easy, that's very good. And trust me, if you don't practice it yourself, you are going to forget after 3 or 4 days for sure. These are two options. You can use this one or this one. I personally use this method. If you ask me personally, I use the format method. But you do have both options. Either use this F earlier or use this one. It's entirely up to you, the way you want. No problem with that. Whatever method you prefer, there is no recommendation that above is better or below is better. You can use anyone. It's entirely up to you what you want to use. Is it fine?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. That's great.
Yes, sir.
Look. Let's move ahead now. Now we are moving to another topic, which is known as strings again, but string methods. Okay. String methods. What are the methods? Remember, whenever we are talking about functions inside a class, functions of a class, right? Then those functions are known as nothing but methods. Remember, that's it. That's it. Normally, for example, this print is a function. We call it print. This print is a function. But if any function belong to any particular class, if any function belong to any particular class, that function is known as method of that particular class. That's it. Means functions and method are same thing. What is function? Nothing but a group of instructions which are used to perform a specific task. That's it. A group of instructions which is used to perform a specific task. If the function belongs to a particular class, then it is known as method. That's it. Nothing else. Is it fine? So functions and method both are synonyms. Same meaning, just context is different. When a function belongs to a class, we call it as a method. That's it. Is it fine? Got an idea what is a method? I hope if somebody asks you difference between function and method, so you will say both are used to perform a specific task. Just function if it belongs to a particular class, then we call it as a method. That's it. Okay. And there are lots
Sir,
of method. Yeah, please carry on.
can
Yep.
you repeat this, sir? The string method?
Actually, understand. A string is one of the class. Everything in a Python is object. Remember that thing. Everything in a Python is an object of some particular class. I repeat once again. Everything in Python is an object of some particular class. For example, if I'm taking a is equal to 3, so 3 is an integer. So a becomes integer class. If I'm taking a string, so that variable is going to become object of that particular class, string class. So string class has certain functions which we can perform on the string. Means if we can perform certain functions on a particular data type, understand what I'm saying now. If we can perform certain functions on a particular data type, right, then we can say that those functions, if are dedicated to that particular data type. So we can say that these functions are dedicated to this particular data type, or these functions belong to this class, or these functions are nothing but method of that class. Now is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
What is string method? The functions that we can perform in a string class. That's it. Is it okay? Easiest way. The functions which we can perform in a string class is known as string methods. Easiest method. Okay? So I'm running this cell and moving ahead. Let me take a string now. Suppose that string is S. Okay. And the string name is Python. But please, why are you annotating? Yeah. So Python programming. I take up a string. There are abundance of functions that you can perform on S. Abundance of functions. Abundance means in large amount that you can perform on this string. Okay. We can check. what type it is. It's class, it's a string. Fine, we check it. It is of the type string. So what different functions we can perform? Easier way to know how many functions we can perform. Just type s and press dot and press tab. Can you see? Abundance of functions come which can be performed inside the string. Abundance of functions are there which you can perform. Okay, although it's very difficult to remember everything, but at least 15-20 main functions of the string you should know, and very easy. If you even don't remember any function, very easy how to do that. Suppose I take a first function, that is capitalize. Just click it or tab, it will capitalize. It comes. Once it is there, put brackets. I told you every function, how will you recognize it is a function? You will see these two brackets after that. Okay, and there are certain functions we need some argument. Argument means the input from your end. They need input from your end. We will come to some functions which will ask you to put the input inside these brackets. Those are known as arguments. Okay, if you will give some values here inside this bracket, those will be known as argument. And some function don't ask for the argument. Okay, for example, this capitalize doesn't ask for the argument. How to check what capitalize does? After moving inside this bracket, my cursor is blinking inside this bracket. Just press shift and tab together. Shift and tab together. It will open the definition of capitalized. Okay, so it is showing it doesn't need any argument here. Okay, and return a capitalized version of the string. What do you mean by capitalized? Whatever string you have put in here, whatever string, please mute yourself. How many times I have to say? Yeah. Okay. So whatever string you have put it here, it will take its first character, that is P, and make it capital. Whatever string you have given here, it will take it and it will capitalize its first word only. Okay, let me run this and you can see that. And check it, please. It has taken the first word, first word or first letter. First letter is proper word. Taking the first letter of that word, whatever word, how many words are doesn't matter. Even if you have written a complete sentence, it will always take the first letter. I repeat once again, it will take the first letter of your string and make it capitalize. So it is taking first letter, that is P, and make it as capital. Doesn't matter how many letters, how many words you put it there. Is it okay what capitalized does? Always
Yes,
your
sir.
first letter of the string will be capitalized. Is it fine? Means turn that into the capital. Tell me, please.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Now, coming ahead, there is another function known as s.title. Okay. As I told you something, remember कि Python code can be written with the help of code editors or can be written with the help of IDEs. IDEs have an option of auto completion, remember? So I'm just typing TI and see, I'm pressing tab. Automatically it is completing. I didn't write anything. Remember, I just put TI and press tab. Automatically it completed the function. Right? This is auto completion. That's the advantage of IDEs. Okay. Put the bracket there. And what this title function will do? Again, if you want to know, just go inside that bracket, press shift and tab together. It will show you the definition. What it will do? What capitalized does? It takes the first letter of your string, make it capital. What title does? For every word, I'm repeating once again, for every word, whichever it is written in the string, it will take every word and capitalize the first letter of that word, that this P and this P. Both will become capital. Okay, so what this capitalized does, in an entire string, it will consider first word, and within this first word, it will take first letter and capitalize that. But in case of title, it will consider each word independently and capitalize its first letter. Okay, so let's check it. Can you check? Tell me, is it fine?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Mhm.
Next is s dot up. I have typed. I'm pressing tab. completed, automatic complete. What is the name? S dot upper. So what it does, it simply converts everything into the uppercase. It converts everything into the uppercase. For example, here everything is in the uppercase. Sorry, lowercase. Python and programming, everything is the lowercase. What it will do, it will convert entire thing into the uppercase. Okay, let me run this and you can check it out. Fine. It will convert everything into the uppercase. Next. Similarly, you can understand what will S dot lower do? Can you guess what it can
All
do?
the characters will be in lowercase.
Yes, yes. It will turn everything into the lowercase. For example, one more thing, whatever we are doing, okay, it's returning this value. We are not saving this value anywhere. Okay, so our original string is remaining as same. Python programming. If you want to check it, you can run above this and check the S. S is still same. Okay, but we want the change to be reflected in S itself. Then whenever we are writing this function, for example, writing S dot lower. So what you have to do here, for example, I'm doing S dot upper. I will put S equals to S dot upper. So what it will do, you can understand. It will take the S, that is your Python programming, which is smaller in letter, convert that into the upper and store it in the S. So now S will become capital. So I'm running this. And now I'm running this cell. You will see everything in the capital. Is it fine? Get the point? So if you want the changes to be accommodated in your original variable, so just put on the left hand side of the assignment operator. Okay. Similarly, now I'm taking S dot lower. In the above side, you remember what is there? Everything is capital now. So I am using S dot lower. So what it will do? It will turn everything into the lowercase. Is it fine?
Yes, sir.
Please, everyone.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Great, great, great.
Yes, sir.
One more thing. There is an important function. Suppose I'm taking a variable again, let's say X, and I'm typing name as Python space programming. Understand? Okay. There is a function which is known as swap case. Swap case. Can you understand yourself? What will it do?
Replaces by each other.
It's swapping of
Yeah.
number.
No, not numbers, but it will do swap case. Case means it will make the capital letters to small letters and small letters to a capital letter. That's it. That is a swap case. Okay, simple thing. So I'm running it and you can check it out. See the above line of code and check the bottom line of code. Is it fine?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Now move to the other function. There is a function in Python known as case fold. Case fold. The name looks what it will do. Case folding, something confusing, but actually what it does. Suppose you want to do some comparison, and you want to do comparison in a manner which should not be dependent on your case. Means whether you are typing capital letter or you are typing small letter, it should not affect. For example, let me open my Google. Just a second. What it is happening here? I'm opening my Google again. Let me take it a little bit downside. Okay. So whether I type here capital G, okay, like this, or make some letters capital, small, doesn't matter, like this. Okay. I run this. Let me open this. What I'm getting? Same google.com. Are you getting this or not? Okay. I'm typing small letters or I'm typing capital letters. What it is doing actually, it is converting everything into the small letter. Means it is ignoring the cases. It is ignoring you have made a capital letter or small letter. If you need this kind of conversion, then what you require a case fold. You require a case fold. It will turn in easiest language. It will convert everything into the lowercase. Remember that. It will convert everything into your lowercase. That's it. Everything into lowercase. Easiest thing. Okay. So let me show you that and take it back again. Yeah. So what is my x? X is, this is P capital and this is P capital, right? So I'm doing x dot case fold. So what should happen? It should run everything in the lowercase. Can you check it? Tell me, everyone.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
So you have two options of converting everything into the lower methods. One is lower method, one is case fold method. Okay, you have to, in interview, they may ask you such kind of questions. You want to do comparison of two things, but that comparison should not dependent on the case. What methods you will prefer? So you will say, sir, there are two methods. Either I will convert both the string into lower case using the dot lower method, or I do have another option of known as case folding, which will also do the same thing, but function is different. Is it fine, everyone?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
Okay, good. So I'm moving next function. Suppose there is a function. Let me take a small function. Let's say again, I'm coming back to the Python. Okay, I'm again coming back to the Python, making it a string Python. Okay, running this cell, going back, and there is a function which is known as s dot center. S dot center. What it will do, understand? I'm putting here function. It needs some arguments. What argument it needs? Two arguments it needs. First argument is known as length, and second argument is known as character. Understand what does it will do? Understand. Suppose I am typing s dot center, s dot center, okay, and I'm typing length to be 10. I'm typing length to be 10, and suppose character is optional, whether I want to give or not. Let's leave it for now. What it will do? See properly, please look after what it will do. I'm running this cell, understand it. Can you check what has happened? What actually it has done, it has taken your string Python, and how many characters it is having right now? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So what this center has done, first of all, it has taken your string and convert that 6-digit string or 6-character string into a 10-character string. Into a 10-character string and placed your Python into center of that 10-character string. Into center of 10-character string. Okay. So in the center it is putting. In the exact center it is putting there. For example, if I want to check at what location P is coming. What location P is coming in center means the number of digits prior to this and number of digits after this should be equal. That means center. That's why it means center, right? So let me check the length first of all. How much length it is? Is it a 10 character? So check the length of any string. There is a function known as len function. To check the length of any string, how many characters it is having, you can use a function known as len function, len. Just place that, put your string inside your len function. Of course, this is going to return a string. So I'm placing that inside the len function. Okay. See, it will indicate that this string is of 10 length. Let me check that. Fine. It is of 10 length. Now, again, I'm coming here. Okay. Let's assign the value of s dot center to some variable. Let's say variable is q is equal to s dot center 10. Okay. I want to check for now. I will come to a function. We will check q. What is q? Let's see first of all q. What is q? Q is simple, this Python. I want to check where the p is. Where the p is inside the q. At what position p is. At what position the p is. So for now, I'm using a function known as find. I'll come to this function very soon, within 3-4 minutes. But for now, understand that. Q dot find. What we want to search? We want to search P, right? We want to search P. So it will tell what is the index of P inside Q. Let me check this. What is the index of P inside Q? So it is returning 2. That means there are 2 characters. Remember, Python indexing always starts from 0. So 0, 1, and 2. So there are 2 characters before this. There are 2 characters. And what are these characters? By default, these are space. So 2 spaces are there. 2 spaces are there, right? Similarly, now count. Python is at 2. So 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It is 2, number 2, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. And how many characters here remaining? You can guess it out. If it is a 10, then how many characters are left? 0 to 9, right? 0 to 9 it will be. So how many characters are remaining? 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So only 8 and 9 characters are remaining. Means 2 characters are left here and 2 characters are left here. That means your Python has come in between. Now suppose space is by default there. I want to put star there. So I can put here whatever character you want to place after placing your Python at the center. So whatever you want to place before Python and after Python within the 10 length. So I'm, let's say, putting a star there. So now you will understand things better. So let me do it so you can understand that thing. Okay. Q.center. Let me run this. Okay. You can understand that thing better. Can you check it, please? I hope you get an idea now very well.
Yes, sir.
Everyone. So whatever you want to put, okay, whatever you want to put, you can use that character there. Whatever character you want. Suppose I use star. I want to place a slash. So I can do that. 2 slashes will come before Python and 2 slashes will come after Python. Okay. Whatever you want to put. Suppose I want to put alphabet like Z. It's up to you what you want to put. Please tell me, is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Great, great. So let's move next. So let me remove this. Better I leave it a star so that whenever you are studying at home, so you can recall, it's easy to remember. Okay, let me run with this. Let me remove function find for now. Okay, so next function we are going to take is your count function. Okay, so suppose again I have taken a function. What is x? What the x we have taken? Remember, we have taken x to be whatever you want. Let's suppose I create again another string known as Python program. Back again.
Excuse me, sir.
Yeah, please tell me.
If you put any odd number
Anything you
in
can
case
put.
of
Anything it will
So-
try to put at the center. It in odd case, of course, it is not going to come exactly at the center. Of course, it won't come. So it will try to put its best. Is it fine?
okay.
Okay, you can check it out. No issue with that. You can put 11 here. You can check it out. Of course, because in it actually depends on, instead of only putting 11 characters means odd numbers here, it also depends on how many characters we are having in this also. Is it right or wrong? Both the things are dependent on. It depends on both the things. So it will try to push the best. So if I put here, so of course it doesn't have any option, right? So it is putting 3 here by default and 2 here.
Okay.
It depends on both the things, what your string is having and what this number is having. Fine. So I'm coming back again. So suppose I take a string again, Python programming. And now there is a function known as count function. There is a function known as count function. Okay. What it does. Okay. It has few arguments known as, first is argument is known as value. Means what you want to count actually. Okay. What you want to count. Then your optional parameters. So I'm putting inside the bracket. That's so that you can understand. Please mute yourself. I request. Start index, comma, and index. Okay. As I put in the bracket, you can understand these are optional parameters. You want to put, otherwise don't put. If you don't put anything, it will consider start index to be 0 and end index to be last one. Okay. So suppose what I am doing, I'm using s.count and I want to check how many times P is coming inside my string. How many times a particular character is coming inside my string for now. Okay. So I'm doing simple. I want to check one character only right now. So I put a P here. How many times it is coming? Can you check?
2 times, sir.
Yes. So it should display 2. Right? I hope you get an idea.
Yes, sir.
Right? Similarly, it's not mandatory that you put only one character. I can put, let's see some combinations. You can put combinations also. For example, I can put PY. How many times PY combination as a combination is coming inside the string? How many times it is coming inside the S? Only once, I guess. Only once. So it should display 1. Now you may see, sir, what is the use of this? Understand properly. Understand properly. Suppose there is a long paragraph, right? And in which I want to create a spam detector. Understand? I want to create a spam detector. So what happens in the spam? They use few words very frequently. Lucky, lucky, happy, happy, happy. So how many times happy is occurring? Or you want to do a sentiment analysis. Sometimes you went to a restaurant and you want to write a review. If you want to write a review, you will use only good words there. For example, 3 to 4 times you're typing happy, 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 happy. If you're typing 4 times happy, okay, and only 1 time sad, so what you will consider? The rating of happiness is more than the rating of sadness. So you can consider a review to be a positive review. This is how your reviews are actually rated also. This is actually how it's rated. So sometimes you want to identify some feelings, means happy word is coming how many times in this sentence. That means that person is happy. If he's speaking happy word again and again. Okay. So you want to find certain pattern inside that, you can do that. Okay. How many times that is coming, you can check it out. For example, I want to check PY is coming only once. Fine. Now coming ahead, I'm using P again. As I told you, this index is optional, but you can put the index also. Suppose I put, if I don't put anything, it will take start index to be 0 and end index to be last one. But if I want to check, I can change the start index and the end index. Suppose I am making the start index to be 5 and end index to be, let's say, the last one will be, let's say, -1. Because we know the indexing, let's say, last will be going to the -1. So we are going from 5 till -1. Okay, for example. So I'm typing here and let's check how many times I'm getting P now. Earlier we were getting P to be twice because it was taking from beginning to end. Now I mentioned 5 here. So what will be 5? 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So from n it will be counting, and from n to last, how many times P is occurring? Only once. I hope you get an idea. Everyone?
Yes, sir. Yes,
Right?
sir.
Yes.
that's it. Okay. Suppose I want to find out something which is not there. Let's see what happens. S.count. Let's search for the letter Z, which is not there. Okay. So what it is returning? 0. Is it fine? Everyone?
Yes, sir.
Okay, great. Now move ahead. Again, there is again an important function known as, again, we know S is our what? S is Python programming. There's a function known as ends with. Ends with. Again, it has arguments, one, the value, same way as the other. And again, some optional parameters, start index. Okay, and index. Okay, start index and end index. You want to give them, otherwise they will take a default. No issue with that. Okay, so what it does, it returns true. Remember my words, what I'm saying. It returns true if the string ends with a specified value. Whatever value you specify, if your string is ending with that one, it will result in true value. Otherwise, it will return false value. Example, let me check. My Python is ending with, again, option is there. You want to use single character, or multiple characters, up to you, entirely up to you. Okay. So suppose I want to check, is it ending with ing? I can use single letter also. Okay. I can remove that. It's optional parameter. Okay. So tell me what it will result, true or false?
True.
Yes, because my function is ending with ing. So let's run this. It will return that. Similarly, if you want to check somewhere midway, okay, then you have to specify your start index and end index. I hope things are clear. Suppose instead of checking it at this end, I want to check at this end. Is it ending with n or not? Two-place check we can do. The first letter is ending with on or not, and second letter is ending with ing or not. So ing we have checked. I want to check first letter as well, first word as well. So is dot ends with. Okay. What we want to check? We want to check with, suppose, HON, yeah, THON, whatever we want to write, suppose HON. Okay. And from where we want to count? We want to count from 0. We want to count from 0, starting. And how many characters the n is ending? 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Sorry. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Right? Let me put 5 here. It is showing false. False what? Let me put 6 here. You'll understand the reason. But the point, how does it understand? If I put a 5, remember, n was coming at 5 number position. And when we put n index, it always takes 1 less than that. We have studied that yesterday also. You remember or not? Here. When we were doing, remember? I put it there, n index.
Yes, sir.
Yes, it always take 1 less than that. That's why I put it 5. It is showing false. So always ensure you put everything properly. Always put everything properly. Otherwise, with an error, suppose I make it 5. It will throw me an error immediately. Change it to 6. Now it's doing fine. I think it's clear what is ends with. Everyone, please.
Yes, sir.
Okay. The same way your ends with is. The same way is a function known as starts with. Same way is your function is a starts with. Okay. Exactly same. Starts with. Exactly same. So it will check. Same arguments are there. Same. N index, you want to do that or not. Okay. Exactly same. Copy paste. Like here. Okay. Suppose I want to check my string starts with py or not, a single letter or whatever you want. Suppose I want to check my string starts with a p or not. These are optional. You want to give them, give. Otherwise, it will take by default everything. Okay. So of course, my string name is Python programming. It is starting with p. So I can check it. Okay. In case I want to check again, anywhere else. Suppose I want to check from this. Can anybody tell me the syntax? I want to check this out in the complete this string. I want to check my second word starts with the p or not. What command I should write? I'm opening it here so that you can read properly. I want to check that my second word starts with the p or not.
Yes, sir.
What should I write? Tell me.
So
Sir,
6 minus 1.
Sir, starting index 6.
S
6
dot
to
starts with
minus 3.
from. I want to check with p only again.
Yes,
Yes.
sir.
Okay. From 6 to
Minus 1.
Minus
minus
1.
1. Let me check it. Is it fine? It is showing false. Some mistake you are doing, I guess. Check it,
Sir,
please.
7.
You have left the
From
space. Space is 6 character. Forgot?
Yes, yes, 7.
Yes. Yes. It's a 7. right? So put a 7 here. Now it will be true. Right? So same kind of assignment actually I'm going to do. I'll give you some paragraphs, right? And I will try to ask you in the assignments, right? Generate a spam classifier or spam detector. How many times this word is occurring? How many times this is occurring? What is your sentiments and something like that? Okay, this is how you are going to work in the bigger project, but my programs will be smaller and smaller. Only IQ will be used. If you are fine, then you will be able to do that. Fine. Let's move ahead. Let's move to the next function. Okay. Now, next function is your find function. Okay. S dot find. What it does. Okay. Whatever value you specify inside this, it will tell the index of its first occurrence. I repeat once again, whatever value you specify here, it will tell about the index of its first occurrence. For example, I put P here. I will put P here. It will take when P is occurring first time in your string. When P is occurring first time, not second time, only first time it tells. When P is occurring first time in your string. So it is occurring in the first time here. And what is an index? Index is 0. Okay. So I'm running it. It is returning me its index. Is it fine? What it tells? The first occurrence. Fine. It tells the first occurrence of the specified value. Tells the returns the first occurrence of specified value. And in case it is not there, it will return a -1. Suppose I try to find something which is not there. For example, in our string, Z is not there. So it will return -1. And it is very useful, specifically, suppose I'm doing password matching. Okay, I'm doing password matching. Okay, so in the password matching, instead of comparing complete password, you do something tricky. Instead of I will check the complete password, I will just check few digits. For example, 1 digit and 5th digit. If 1 digit is this one and 5th digit is this one, then I will say password accepted. Otherwise, I will say password rejected. I will just check 1 digit and 5 digit, not everything. I'm not going to check that. If it is P, for example, my password consists of P at 5th position. If it is there, I will say, okay, fine. I can use that in programming. Suppose it is P, okay, here, and it is 0. So I can use it in the conditional programming. My index is 0, password accepted. If index is not at 0, password rejected. And if it is not fine, simple, say no, not available. So these kind of things, 0 and 1, you will be using in conditional statements. You'll come to that, don't worry. Got an idea? Just actually don't stick to yourself what this function does. Just start using your brain where we can use this function. There are lots, and already I think we have completed 10 to 12 functions, right? There are at least I will 10 I will more cover. Other than that, there are 10 more. So it is almost impossible to cover every function. Okay, at least remember main of those and you incorporate all those in your functions. Incorporate all those functions and try to learn. Whenever you see something, there is something I haven't studied that function. What should I do? Simple. Go there, create your string, type S and type dot and press tab.
Excuse me, sir.
Yeah, please tell me.
Will you please explain this find Z, sir?
No, actually what we are doing, we are trying to find a function which is not available in the string. What is our string is? Our string is Python programming. Remember, there is no Z. Agree?
Yes, sir.
Z is not there. So if you are finding a character or some value which is not available in the string, this function will return the value -1. Get it?
Okay, sir.
Otherwise, if it is
But
available,
before
if it is available, it will show you simple the index of that. Index of that. What is its index? For example, earlier you were searching P. So what was P? P is available or not? P is available. It will only tell the occurrence of first occurrence of the value. What is the first occurrence? First time it is occurring. P is occurring first time at this point. And what is its index? Index is only 0. That's why it is showing 0. Okay. If I want to check, suppose the index of y. I want to check index of y. So what should be the index of y? You can check it from this. It should be 1. So it will return 1. You can check it. Let me place, sorry, let me come here and place y here. So first occurrence of y is at 1 position, right? Check it. You're getting 1. If it is not there, it will -1. If it is there, definitely is going to return that index. Even the combinations will work. For example, I want to check the index of py together. So py together is again occurring at the 0th index. When it is starting, it's starting at 0th index only. Py combination starting from 0th index. Run it. It will again return you 0. Is it fine?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, fine.
Sir, actually, we are getting confused here. Like
That-
-1 is the index of the last
No,
character.
no. That's different. That's different. Remember, that's not the case. In case it will not return negative number. For example, even I've tried to check this position. For example, G. It is G already here. All right. Let me take a different string. You'll understand that. We don't get confused. I'll tell you. Don't worry. Let me take one more string to be D is equal to some different character which is not coming earlier. Let me type cat. Is it fine? I am typing a character known as cat. Okay. I'm trying to find when the T is occurring. I'm trying to find when the T is occurring. By default, remember when you are using the find function, it will return the index in only in positive numbers, never negative numbers. Remember that. Whenever using the find function, it will not return a negative index ever. It is always written positive index because it has reserved -1 for what? In case of not availability. Remember, keep that in mind. Find function, what it will do, it will always return positive indexes if it is available. If not available, it has reserved the negative index -1. That is not available. That's why even if I'm checking T, it will return 0, 1, and 2. Only 2 value. It will not return -1 because -1 it has reserved for something else. Okay. So I'm typing T here and you can check it will return 2 only. It won't return -1 because it has reserved itself -1 for what? Not for this. It has reserved -1 for not availability. So if I again run s.find and place any character which is not available, let's say X, it will return -. Is it fine now?
Yes, sir.
Okay. It is a property of this function. Remember that in
Excuse me, sir.
Yeah, please.
Sir, in case of s dot find T, how it
Mhm.
will show 2, sir? Actually, that D is equal to cat, sir.
Yeah.
How it will show?
Oh,
S
sorry.
dot find.
It is I mistake
So
somewhere.
yes, sir. In Python also.
Python also it
will
is at 2. Python is also it is at 2. Pyt, na?
Yes, sir. Got it, sir.
It is also at 2 here. Let me put D here. Don't worry. Let me put D here. It again will show 2. Fine. It will show here. So there are some reservations with this find function. Remember, simple thing is that as simple as that. It will never return negative values. Always return positive values only. So you have to keep in mind that one. And these things come with the practice only. Once you are doing lots and lots of practice, you have to spend a little. You can't say you studied machine learning for 1 month and you become master until you do practice, and practice. Then only you're going to become a master of Python. Better trust me. This Python, I have spent at least 1,000 to 2,000 hours on studying and teaching others. 1,000 to 2,000 hours. Then now I remember everything what needs to be typed here. I don't forget that. I'm also a human being like you only. The only difference is that experience. That's it. Nothing more than that. It may be possible you may be more sound than me. Quite possible. You are new generation, right? You may be much more sounder than me. Only thing what I am knowing right now because of my experience that I have devoted inside study and training. The coding is like this only. Practice, practice, practice. The things will become easy for you. Is it fine, everyone? Now, hope you will remember that thing that find never returns a negative index.
Yes,
Keep that
sir.
in mind. Keep that in mind. Find will never return. Okay. If you are afraid with the negative, don't worry. There is another option for you. I'm bringing that option for you. Suppose Function.
Excuse me, sir.
Yeah, please tell me.
Sir, if there is an occurrence of double A in cat, then
Yeah.
the first A will be only
Only
detected by the
it will only tell the first occurrence. That's it. Only first
Okay.
occurrence, not second occurrence. Okay. Even if two cats are there, let me put two cats. Don't worry. Let me put two cats here and put A here. It will only tell the first occurrence. It will return me 1. Fine.
Okay, sir.
Don't worry. If you are scared with the -1, Python understand that people may get scared. Let me do something else, right? Because of that only. Because of a few people who understand, okay, -1 is the index of the last number and it is also returning -1. So Python always provides some solution for you. Okay. So Mr. Von Dusen, who created Python, had an idea. The people might get confused. So let me do something else. So do something else for you. Okay. So they created a method known as index method. Okay. They created a method index which is similar to find. Exactly similar to find. Only difference is you won't get this -1 now. It will raise an exception. It will raise an exception. Let me show you. Let me type first of all search for A. Okay. As usual, the same way it will do. Whatever find has done, it will return me the value of 1. Okay. But if I try to use index function to find out the value which is not available here, let's say X, it will raise an exception. Let me run that. Is it fine? Substring not found. Problem solved.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So this is actually the person who designed these programs. Now they're very intelligent. Trust me, how intelligent those are. They know after a generation of Python, even after a long time, people are going to get confused. So let me do some alternate solution for the same. Hats off to them, right?
Yes,
How
sir.
intelligent those were. People will get confused. Let me do something for them, right? Plus, you can write your own programming language. Don't worry. It may be possible. Never know. And the person who created the Python, if you read his stories like that, I was fed up with his language. C, lots of things to be remembered. C++, lots of things to be remembered. Let me make something easy, which is easier for human programming. They were developing one more language. I forgot its name. That didn't become popular. Even that was designed to be easier than Python. I don't know why it didn't become popular. It was when I was studying first time Python nearly 4 years back, 4 to 5 years back, remember correctly. So I studied, I was seeing a video lecture and that a person was telling me what happened behind the journey of it. It was like a story and enjoyed the story. So you never know. You're finding anything difficult in the future, you may create a programming language which is very easy for you. Very easy for the human being. Right? So let's move next to the next function. But any doubt in this point? Till this point, please, rather.
No, sir.
No doubt, sir.
No, sir.
Okay, fine. So now
No,
there is,
sir.
suppose creating a string again, and then string is having space at the beginning. And I'm putting some space here. I am typing programming. And again, giving some space here intentionally. Okay. All these things are important, especially about the strings when you will be working on any natural language processing project. You will be very much required because our string is normally non-structured. So we have to make it suitable for the machine learning, right? So there is one more function known as strip function. S dot strip. Okay. What it does, it removes spaces at beginning and end. I repeat once again, it removes spaces at the beginning and the end. If there are unnecessary spaces which are available here, it will remove that. Okay, so I am doing that. S dot strip, and let's run this. Sorry, it's raw and BC convert. Let me convert into the code and let me run this. Can you check it? All the spaces here and all the spaces here has gone. Is it fine? Everyone?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Yes.
Let's do one more thing. Let me, instead of one space, let me put 1, 2, 3 spaces. Okay, or one more, 4 more spaces. Let me run it again. Okay, strictly one thing is clear. That's why I want to make it clear. It will remove only and only space where at the beginning and at the end. Mid space, it won't clear. Remember that in mind. Intentionally, I did this so that you can understand things better. Okay. If you are going to think it is going to make my life very much easy, no, that's not the easy thing. It can only remove the space at the beginning and at the end. So you have to manage that properly. I hope it is clear, right? Ensure that it will always remove the space only between, sorry, only at the beginning and at the end. So I'm running it again. Okay. Similarly, there is one more function like strip known as lstrip. Lstrip function. Okay. So I'm typing, or one more thing, let me deal more with the strip as well. Suppose I'm doing one thing, I'm typing s equals to using suppose certain characters like dot, G, R, T. Okay, I'm using some characters, something like this. Okay, something dance, see properly. Okay, and dot G, R, T means these are certain characters which are coming inside my string. Let's say dot dot dot, your dot, yeah, I put a dot here, dot great GRT, okay, Python GRT, something like this. Okay, this is my function. This is my function which I'm mentioning, dot GRT Python GRT. This is my string what I created. Now after this string creation, I can write s dot strip. If you want to remove any character, remember the understand. By default, what it will do, if you are not specifying anything, it will take that inside this, there will be space. So all the leading space and the ending space will be removed. Okay. Now, whatever character you specify inside this, suppose I'm specifying inside this, if dot comes at the left hand side or at the right hand side, remove it. Leading character. I repeat again, leading, right? Leading or lagging. G comes, remove it. R comes, remove it. T comes, or remove it. And let's check what output I am getting. There is some problem. A string had as a strip, sorry.
Strip.
Strip, yeah. Let me run it. Can you check, please? Understand that properly. When I'm not giving anything here, it is considering as that I have to remove space only at the beginning and at the end, right? At the beginning, it will trace any spaces they are removed. At the end, any spaces they are removed, right? Now here also, when I'm putting some characters here, it will search for these characters. Any dot is here in the string. Yes, dot is there. Remove it. Any G is there. Remove it. It will move from the left and search for these characters. So dot is there, G is there. I am putting more characters. Let's put R, 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 R. Okay, like this. Similarly here, whatever you want to put, T, 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 T. It will search from the beginning. If any of these characters is found, it will remove that. G is found, R is found, every R will remove, every T will remove. Right? The moment this pattern breaks, means this pattern now means pattern means any of these character breaks, means now G, R, T. So this time one character comes which is not available here. So it won't is to stop, it will immediately stop removing the things. I won't do that because this character is not available here. Similarly, at the left hand side, it will go and search for any of these, either dot or G or R or T. If any is there, it will keep on removing till it found a character which is not inside this. Okay, so it will only put it there, Python, and rest of the things will be removed. So let me run it again. And let me run it again. Is it clear?
Sir,
Yeah, please.
why didn't Python's T get removed?
What I said, it will remove only the things which are mentioned inside these quotes. And that too on the left hand side, on the right hand side. So what it will do, it will go to the starting at the top and search. Will search first character and match with any of these characters. Dot is there. Yes, dot is there. Remove it. It will remove dot. Move to the second character. Search. G is there. Yes, G is there. Remove G. Search for R. R is there. Yes, R is there. Remove it. Every R is there. Remove it. Move to the T. T is there. Remove it. Now it looks. T. T is there or not? At the bottom, strips saying the character that we want to remove. P is there or not? Tell me, please. The person who
No,
asked
sir.
me, right? P is not there. So it will immediately stop removing from this end. It will stop here. I won't remove any character from the left hand side now. I'll stop here. All the characters left to the P will be removed and stop at P. Same process. It will go to the right hand side now. Now go here. Okay. Search. What is the first character? T. T is there. Yes, remove it. T is there. Yes, remove it. T there. Remove it. R. Yes, remove it. G. Yes, remove it. N. N is there? No. N is not there. Stop. No further characters will be removed from the right side. So only thing that is remaining is this one. Now tell me, is it okay or not, please?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Similarly, there is one more function known as s dot l strip, left strip. So whatever this strip function was doing, strip function was removing things from left hand side and right hand side. You can understand what l strip will do. It will remove the things only from left hand side. Let me put everything here as it is copy paste. If you don't put here, what it will consider? Tell me. If you don't put anything here, what it will consider here?
It will remove spaces from the
Yes,
left.
yes, it will remove the spaces from the left, right? Exactly right. So I'm putting GRT there and now run this and check it. You'll get a clear cut idea. Tell me,
Yes, sir.
right? Similarly,
Yes, sir.
there is a function known as right strip. Exactly same. Instead of L, put right, and you can understand what it will do. It will remove these characters from right hand side. Check it, please.
Yes, sir.
Is it fine, everyone?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Bit complicated, but once you do it by yourself, trust me, it is very easy. Once you do it by yourself, understand the basic concept, what is happening inside. And if you don't practice it by today or by tomorrow, trust me, you're going to forget it very soon. So what is required from your end is a hardcore practice. Whatever I'm typing, I will share the file with you. Take it with you. Type every piece of code with yourself. Every piece of code, even string I'm typing, don't copy it and paste it. Type it yourself. I'm typing it, I'm putting a space so that you can learn what I am doing, what I am inputting, and what output I am getting. Then only you will be able to troubleshoot. Otherwise, you will be going to stuck somewhere. Is it fine?
Okay, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, fine. Now, next move to other function. Now, next function is your, suppose I'm typing a string, let's say s is equal to hi, how are you? This is a string. Okay. What I want to do, I want to split this string into words. Let me put a space, remove the space from here. Okay. I want to remove what I want to remove. Understand? I don't want to remove. I want to separate each individual word from this string and store that word somewhere else. I'm repeating once again. I want to separate each individual word inside the string and store it somewhere else. Means hi, I want to store somewhere else. How I want to store somewhere else. R I want to store somewhere else. U I want to store somewhere else. Means what I want to split them. Easier word. I want to split them. If I want to split them, there is a function known as split function. there is a function known as split function. What it does, it splits the entire string into individual words and store them in a structure or a sequence that is known as a list. You'll understand that. I am putting s dot split. Okay, I'm putting split, although it has two parameters which are optional. One is your separator, what separator you want, and one is max split. If you don't specify anything, it understand that your separator is a space. Okay, so I'm doing that s dot split. See what it will return. Can you check it out? It returned another data structure of the Python, which is known as list. And list is what? Collection of items. So what it did, it treated, see, quotes are put it only at high, means high is separated. How is separated? R is separated. U is separated. Is it clear? It's separated every word, is splitted every word on the basis of which separator? By default, if I don't put anything, it will consider that separator to be space. Is it fine? And
Yes, sir.
store all this thing in a data structure, which you can call for now array, because it is of all the same data types. Same data types are nothing but array. It's a collection of 4 different strings. Hi, how, are, you, all are separate. Right? Next very important thing. Suppose, so what is the proper syntax of this? S dot split. You have to put here a separator, whatever separator you want to put. By default, it will take space. You want to put comma, then put a comma. If everything is separated by a comma, you can put a comma. Let me show you an example. Okay, separator, yeah, separator, and then max split. How many splits you want? Okay, how many splits you want? Okay, this is the by default syntax of that. So let me go down and let me create one more string. Let's say, and here I'm separating every string by comma. Let's say hi, comma, how, comma, are, comma, you. Okay, so now I want to separate them by a comma. So what I will do, I will go here, I will type s dot split. What separator you want? Remember, comma.
Comma.
So put that inside the quote. Now see what will happen. Can you check it? It has divided or splitted entire string. Hi separately, how separately, are separately, you separately, wherever comma comes, and stored them in a data structure known as split, a list. Okay. Second thing, again, second parameter. Suppose let it be like this only. Let it be like this, whatever s is. And now I am doing s dot split. I'm trying to separate them by a comma, but I want only 2 splits. I want to do only 2 splits. But let me put 1. Let's see what happens. Let me put 1. Okay. You'll see what happens now. Can you check what happened? I want 1 split. Means I want to break only once. I want to break it only once. So what it has done? Once it has broken. See, high it has taken separately, but these 3 are still considered to be a part of only 1 string. Can you check it out? Please see properly. They all are under 1 quote only.
Yes.
Right? I want more splits. It's up to me. Go there and put 2 here. Now, can you tell me how many separations will be there? 3 separations, right? 3 separations will be there, right? So let me do that. Check it. High, it has split it. How it has split it? Any first separation is means this is our string. So first comma is split it here. 1 split has been done. This is complete. Now move ahead. Second split has been done. That's what we want. So high will be separate, how will be separate, and are you will be still together. Can you see that? See properly. R and U
Yes, sir.
are under still under 1 quotes. Please tell me, is it fine?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Everyone, please.
Yes,
And
sir.
it is
Yes, sir.
Yes,
it is very important. Trust me, it is very important. Split function specifically. For example, I want to print each and individual word of a string. For example, this is my string. I date of a string here, this one. Now, any string you want to take, suppose I'm copying it here. Later on, well, we will study within, I think 1 or 2 days, we'll come to the conditional programming, right? So you will see the importance that, suppose this is a string known as V. Okay? And I split it here. I split it and give it a name as F. F is equal to V dot split. That's it. Nothing else. It gave me a list. You can check it out. F will be a list of hi, how are you? You can access each and individual element of this. Each and individual, what is hi, what is hi. You can easily, for example, I mentioned for I in F. I'll come to that. Don't worry. Print I. It will give you separately. It will give you separately each of everything. Hi, first of all, hi will be printed, then how will be printed, then R will be printed, then you will be printed. And it is very much important because I'm just printing here, but you can do comparison as well. You can do comparison as well. For example, there is a password which is given to you. You can break that password in the alphabets, example. And you can again check at password at individual alphabet level. Okay. So I'm running it and you can see, I can see each individual hi, how, are, you. Every single word I can access. Every single word separately. And that becomes the power once we split the string. You're able to get each and individual word out of it. I hope it is clear, everyone. Please tell me.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Is it clear? Similar to split, there is one more function known as R split. Okay, so I'm taking V again. Let me, what is V? Yeah, V is same. Hi, how are you? Similar to your split, there is a function known as R split. R split, what it does, it takes again 2 arguments. One, your separator, on the basis of which you want to separate. Second, how many splits you want. How many splits you want. Suppose I want to separate them by space only. So I put bracket, give some space. But I want to separate them into, suppose one split. One split means it will be divided into 2 parts. But now it will split from right hand side. Means earlier what was happening when I was giving split to be 1, it was taking hi as a separate and how are you combined as a separate. Remember, it was taking from left hand side, taking hi first and then how are you first together as well. Then we are using R split here. What it will do, it will take from right hand side, means it will take you as a portion and this how are you as a second portion. Let me check it. Please check it. Get the point? It is splitting from right hand side now. Earlier was splitting from left hand side. Now it is splitting from right hand side. Tell me, is it fine? The
Yes,
difference
sir.
between
Yes,
split
Yes,
and
sir.
R split. Yeah. So I think it's enough for the day. Lots of functions we have done, right? So I'll share you this sheet very soon and we'll continue tomorrow. There are few more functions of the strings are remaining and then we'll move ahead. Is it fine? Hope the class was meaningful for everyone.
Very meaningful.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So
Yes, sir.
yeah. So only, okay. So only thing that required from your end is please do the practice. Please do the practice. Otherwise, everything will go into the vein. Means waste. Until you
Okay,
do the practice. Until you do the practice, everything is like nothing is going to happen. You're going